Hello and welcome. My name is Anthony, one half of Reyony, and today we are playing some more of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Happy Sunday afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. First off, we got a Samantha with the first and a resub. Thank you so much. A mini dance party for you. Thank you so much. Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend. So far, it is still only Sunday afternoon, but today, where we live, daylight savings has begun. So in the early morning hours today, March 8th, at around 2 a.m., we had to set our clocks forward to 3 a.m. We'll see how that goes. So if the streams are starting at a different time than you expect now, that's just how it is. I'm excited to play more. Apologies for not playing a couple days ago, but I'm looking forward to continuing this first case where our boy... What is his name? What is his name? Ryunosuke Naruhodo. That's right. An ancestor of Phoenix Wright. By the way, we're playing the Nintendo Switch version of The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is a collection of the two games. We're playing the first one, Adventures. Raptor is here too. What's up? What is up, Raptor? Hope you're well. How's Enfield? You still playing it, or you find something else? And yes, Samantha got the first. We did get our tea, Samantha. We're good. A little green tea with some honey in it. I also sucked on a cough drop to just numb the throat, warm it up a little, and then I literally did some vocal exercises. Just so you know, the last stream we did was like the most speaking I had done like all month. It was incredible. So I wanted to prepare. I got water, I got tea, honey, cough drop, and I did some vocal exercises. It should be a good time. This is good practice for me. I should probably be talking more. But yeah, there was like a nice stopping point. We're still in the middle of the first case in which our boy Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a student at Yume University, is accused of murdering a professor visiting from England. Several witnesses show him with the gun in his hand, but a lot of conflicting testimonies. Testimony? Is that already plural? Or is it testimonies? A lot of conflicting things have been said, and then now there's a conspiracy is coming to light. A conspiracy from the police force trying to hide the existence of a person we witnessed, a woman who is also sitting at the table with a victim that no one else reported seeing, but now it's coming to light. Plural is testimonies. Gotcha. I got lots of ginger lemon cough candy, chewy candy. Yeah, I need that. But we'll see. It's been a little while since we played a game where I had to do a ton of reading. Well, I guess we did that with 14, right? But like this level. So, just gonna warm up the throat so that I feel okay. But yeah, we're still in the first case, which, you know, is like a classic tutorial case. But the intrigue is building up, so I'm very excited. Oh, your ginger lemon cough candy, chewy candy is from Malaysia or Singapore. Interesting. Is it good? What do you use it for? Just as your general cough drop when you need it? And like, did you pick it up on a trip, or can you buy it locally? Curious. I wonder if I can get it too. I mean, if you want, Raptor, feel free to share it on the Discord. Especially if it's a ginger candy, that would be really useful for Audrey's motion sickness. All right. Hope you guys are well. We've been really, really busy. Still no streams for Audrey so far this year. She is as busy as ever. Ginger bomb. Okay, I'll have to look it up. But you know, maybe sometime later in the spring, things will return to quote-unquote normal. Oh, local Asian supermarket. We got some of those. I'll have to check them. But I'm having a good time right now. And with our new directive on the channel of, you know, if I'm not having fun, then just drop the game and move on. Am I still having fun with this? I think I am. But let's check in on that again at the end of the stream. So let's hop in. Sip of tea first. All right, I checked the VOD for the last stream. I think audio levels are good, but if I was wrong, please let me know. It's just a matter of, do I turn the game up or down? My voice is going to be the same, I think. The Adventure of the Great Departure. I love that the sound effects are still the same. Classic sound effects. Actually, I wonder if the sound effects are still from... Because I know them from the DS game, but I don't know about... Are they from the Game Boy Advance game, too? We still never figured out the pronunciation of this word, huh? The 22nd of November, 11:38 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendant's Antechamber 5. Kazuma. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it. It's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Well, you got 2 games. I know, but I don't want to say dick. Raptor, please understand. Right? Because, like, judiciary? Is it judish? Is it or sh? Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Huh? Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Yeah, the guy who's posing as a waiter undercover, right? Police guy? Police inspector? Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up, I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. It did, Raptor? Okay. Alright, judicature it is. Fast thinking by the detective. He apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. That's suspicious. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference, lawyer or otherwise. If I am the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA, and it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Oh, Sama. Defendant Naruhodo. Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Whoa, how do I even pronounce that, Raptor? Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what's hit them. Kazuma. What? Thank you. Really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me then, I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Dude, he's dead, huh? He's dead right after this mission. He's gonna be the victim in the second case. No spoilers. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Supreme Court of Judicature. Courtroom 2. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aochi, Have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we've forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. But you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial? Anxiety over some foreign government's opinions? A bungled investigation? Missing witnesses? Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you jumped-up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student. And one who could arguably study harder, too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Your Excellency! Why the F is he here too? Whoa. Is this a fraud? Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan. And from such a distant land. Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Why is he here? Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I've been working undercover as the head waiter at Le Carnival. Yes, we know all about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes. I think I did, didn't I? Nice, thank you, Raptor. Your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Whoa. Huh? I'm terribly sorry, Sorry, dear lady, but what? This is fun. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in Yume University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. Fucking guy. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention to in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago at a restaurant called Le Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? I wonder if this actually fits. She says, yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. Interesting when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Okay. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. A frightening and sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes!
Oh. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at this snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. Ugh. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the 2 witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. What? If you witnessed it, you're involved. The testimonies of the last 2 witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. What? What about all over that hat? I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. Was that part of the testimony or what? Oh no, she did say she didn't have a gun. Ugh, that's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it! Can't believe the game just made me say that. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. Oh! Awesome. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. She's an assassin. Oh, how sick would that be? We checked with the university. There is no overseas student under the name of Giselle Bell. Brett. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Here we go. We gotta press them all. Sorry, let me just check all the stuff real quick. Well, there's nothing new to look at, really. Okay. I'd arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day.
Yes!
After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue. Isn't that right? No. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. Oh, the gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. Daily. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself. Myself only, a beefsteak.
Yes!
He was unable to eat, you say. And that was because he just had her tooth removed at Hota Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? All right, we also see a bottle and a glass and a thing of flowers, fork and knife. That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. I feel like the vase moved. But that's pretty detailed. I don't know. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right. Other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's very meaningful. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, well, how fascinating. You tell us, what is this profound bearing, The significance of this statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. The guy asked for spoilers. Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm gonna remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. I ordered a beefsteak for myself, and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument.
Yes!
I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. Wow, the localizers had some fun with this. We must all speak English. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. How do you feel about that? I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave. The smile. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes.
Yes!
Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, it was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time. The highly suspicious lady. That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Dirty. Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy. Seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense. The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned, anyway. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes!
It's all very well saying that. It's all very well saying that. But can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes, immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." What? That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector? No. Why on earth not? The honorable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for any further probing into the matter. Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps? Think what you will, but if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. What? The fact is that he didn't check her. The fact is we do not know if she was carrying a weapon or not. These dum-dums. In other words, he wants evidence. Ugh. The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation. but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Yeah, don't ignore that part. Not get her out of there. I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime, which is why she is only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course. Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same way as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous look you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. The fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing you do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that and an opening will present itself, I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Okay, we're back to the beginning. We're going to go ahead and press the new added statement. This one, about cheers. We're going to go ahead and present the fact that there's only one glass. Here it is.
Yes!
Music stopped. That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Wow, it's odd, very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutia? Yes. What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on this case? Bro. Ouchie.
Objection!
Please be quiet. Minutia, you say. Could it be that the detective here removed the glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. What? You've done a lot. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table, okay? I ate the glass. Tell me you ate the glass. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that had happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious. Sorry. What is this? There. As I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this is a student who had just murdered this lady's luncheon. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. Because if she can hide a glass, then she can hide a gun. Say it. I put it in my gun holster. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Hello? A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So, the beautiful lady has graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. The student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed the glass. I think henceforth, we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know, really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So, she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance there, it's the fucking handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. Cosmo, you're supposed to help me here. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce that there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No! Order, order, order! What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Alchi? That's what I'm wondering. Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, she now has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. You better say something great right now. As I take a sip of tea. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. What the hell, dude? You're police. Do better. This photographic print. Yet another. What the fuck? These guys suck. Oh my god, it's. What the fuck? Why? Why is this? Did she leave the handbag there? And what is that? Is that a tattoo of a bull? Oh. That's his... Oh, did he get burned? Right here? Sizzling hot steak. And that's on his right hand. Why would it be on his right hand if he wasn't eating? Right? The steak wouldn't have been in front of him, would it? This is getting really interesting. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag, which you can just totally see through. Well, I never. You can see through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. There's a hidden compartment on the other side. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Order. Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. The photograph of the handbag has been entered into the court record. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I'm satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, and there's only one logical conclusion, that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Let us take a look at the photograph. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? What? You mean this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat, while the strong eat. You were wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. It's going to fade to black and then... Objection! Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma, what? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. There is. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we will be unable to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little. Or we will. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of
Yes!
There it is. Wait, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke. I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
Objection!
This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over. Exiting with the resub. Thank you so much, Mini Dance Party, for you. Thank you, Exodin. Hope you're well. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter. And I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
Objection!
This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Ha! My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Perhaps my wrist. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. Will you identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded? It's right here.
Yes!
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say? On the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. Well, what did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Auchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case, if we could do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open. Just give up, counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. Oh, I like that animation, just taking a breath. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. Evidence is right here.
Yes!
Music stopped. What's this, counsel? Yet another print? I should have zoomed in, but yeah. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? This right here, dog.
Yes!
The beef steak. Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate. Your Excellency? Are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnaval. This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ryunosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? Whoa, there's still a lot. I don't know. Because he was probably facing the other way since it was on his right hand when he got shot, and then maybe when he died, he fell and got burnt. That's why he didn't scream about the burn. Otherwise, people would have noticed. And then when, in the commotion, the inspector turned the body around, stage it to frame him. Oh, gosh. I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But, yeah, no one testified about him getting burnt. I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then, and held it there for 3 seconds. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of Le Carnaval, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter.
Yes!
That's what happened after he died. There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet, Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, counsel. Then the rest of us in that restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without a question, have heard him scream. Would you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think... Yes, this is it! Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. Yeah. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting... Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Already dead? No reaction from her. Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. Wait, that's not what I was saying, but okay. I need a timeline of events here. Are they saying more than I'm concluding personally? This song is sweet, though. So I went to say hi, went back to my table. Getting ready to leave, I found the gun on the ground. Picked it up. Gunshot. Are they saying he was dead before that, even? That's madness. Order, please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. No, he was poisoned. He was poisoned and she took the glass to extract the evidence. She's an assassin.
Objection!
So there's no gun. So then what was the gunshot then? Damn, dude, still so many questions. No, Professor Ouchie, it's you who has no grasp. Prosecutor Ouchie, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon. As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I thought maybe... As I was looking at the gun on the ground, Ryusuke, the lady pulled out her gun and shot him. Unless we're just going to continue to believe her that she didn't have a gun or didn't conceal it. But she shot him. He fell face first. Or he just fell. Steak branded him. And I thought we were going to question why he was sitting at the steak if he didn't order food. Still a lot of questions. Like, why was he on that side of the table? Her face stays hidden. I thought it was going to be a thing where once we, like, chip away at her testimony, Raptor, that she'll be, like, she'll finally show her face, like, you know? I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But, Your Excellency... It's going to turn out she does speak Japanese. The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Oh my gosh. She speaks Nihongo. Yeah, she's been using the mask. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. What? Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country after all. But then why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this. This lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Alright, I'm going to take this opportunity to just take a quick break. This is getting interesting. I still have a lot of questions, but hopefully we can get some answers after the break. Thank you for hanging out. I'll be back in just a few minutes. We're back. Thank you for waiting. Let's get into it. Second testimony from Giselle Brett. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. The victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. The hydrate from Raptor, thank you. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. The glass, hello. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with the cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Whoa. Did she poison him? But there was a gunshot heard. Is everyone convinced that she didn't have a gun? I don't know. She shot him, he fell, burned his wrist, she ran away, and then the waiter/inspector turned his body around. That's good. That's very good. Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. The victim's death. Alright, we're gonna press all the statements. No idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that.
Yes!
But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! Haha, what fun. Dude. You hadn't realized? The dear lady is absolutely right. She got us. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. Wait, did she just have no eyeballs right there? He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. He's too gentlemanly to scream in pain. And yet, he didn't just move his hand? 3 seconds is a long time. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes!
Well, I can't. Anyway. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast.
Yes!
I still think there's a significance to the burn being on his right hand. As you testified to before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember, which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although, whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefit of others in the court, it means bless you. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway. Post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. Let me just read that again. Just want to make sure I'm not accidentally presenting it. Some kind of medical treatment. Oh. This is just the dental report. Never mind. Oh! Good thing I freaking read this. They probably use laughing gas so he wouldn't feel anything. Wait, I've heard people talking about this new idea of anesthetic. Wait, I accidentally read this. It's impossible to imagine not being able to feel pain, though. Yes, we found it! So he was alive then when he was getting burned. He's like, oops. So then that means, yeah, that's a lucky. So that means it will become important that it was on his right hand. Why was it on his right hand? He was sitting at the stake. Oh my goodness. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours. Post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. I think I fucking read this. Post-mortem report. Let's read this. Single bullet fired at close range. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. I'll press it first. We'll present later. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. This is good. I have questions still. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must already have been dead at that point. Is that... No, he was numb, right?
Objection!
And yet the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Auchi is right. Ugh. Alright, we'll keep pressing the next two statements and then we'll go back to that one and present. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me.
Yes!
Is this a red herring about poison? If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death. That's true. Hey, Mezzo. Yes, that's right. It is. It's on a CRT at the same time. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death. That's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh, is that one a red herring? Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Taketsuchi Auchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. I mean, do I have any evidence of such a thing? It's just a theory that she poisoned him. Ah, but is that a red herring? Why would she have taken the glass? And why did everyone hear a gunshot? There's still a lot. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. The Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction,
Wait.
vital evidence may be lost. What is this? Wait, what can I do? Can I talk to him? It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can. You can understand. You understand. Aha, a killer blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. What was that Hosanaga's weight? Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. There's so many things to pick apart there. I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. Do we have to do that? Multiple presses? If you think so, but this time instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. I have a feeling he's going to disobey his orders because she's dishonoring his abilities as an inspector. She's insulting the whole institution, whereas he prides himself on being super detail-oriented. So we'll get him to betray. Alright, we'll press here. Inferior? What do you mean by that?
Wait.
There. What can I do here? Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the English woman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When the people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? Oh, is this like a feature I'm not familiar with? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? Oh. Sweet. At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the curtain statement. But by moving the marker left and right, with D-pad left and right, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with A. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. You ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand? Take a good look around. Alright then. So first I should move the marker across with left and right and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with A and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait. Excuse me.
Excuse me. What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. You can't find fault with her testimony. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. Huh? The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind. I would like to speak. She's mad. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is it poisoned? We keep going back and forth. Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be amongst the best in the world. Wait, that's the one that's on the table? The time is coming, I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. The carbonated water bottle has been entered into the court record. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Check it for poison. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. I'm going to try pressing regarding his not screaming. Just so we can take that out of the equation. Because I think it's related. I might lose a point on that. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. The waiter brought my steak. The professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. Postmortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. Wait, is there an opportunity here to talk about his screaming? This is where we press with the bottle. Is it... I mean, I'd hate to have to press every statement yet again. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Cosmo? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't. You could just say that you don't know. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking it. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. Was it carbonated? Was it good? We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke, in more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Okay, so maybe the fact that he was numb is unrelated to the burning. Because I still think my initial thought was that the burn happened like right after he died because he slumped over. And that would help us. Right hand. Oh god, this still have a lot of questions. It was good water, nice. I'm gonna present it.
Yes!
The music went out, please be good. What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison. On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order, order! And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Giselle Brett. It was you. What? I don't like this, but okay.
Objection!
This is outrageous. To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Ahem. If I may. I will Oh. Here it is, Raptor. Are we going to see her evil eyes? It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady. Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. Oh, he did. Oh, no, dude. Another trap. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? She didn't poison the bottle, she just poisoned his glass then. Let's say that. I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No! It's the glass. Did you test the glass? I'm very grateful to you, to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. This case is spicy. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Wait, does it? How? How does it fall into place if he was poisoned? Thank you, R. Krantz. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore... But he wasn't facing us. He wasn't facing us! I don't think. The accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Cosmo? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. It's probably they want me to point out the glass, right? Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving. Objection!
Hold it!
Oh, it's the girl. Tell me she examined the glass. Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Is the daughter of that professor? Mikotoba. In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Dude, this is pretty epic. To be continued? Wow, this is a long-ass case. I'm checking the clock now. Do I continue today? I mean, we haven't gone very long. And I don't have another stream for another week. Yeah, we'll continue. We'll go till dinner time for me. Do I need multiple save files? I generally like doing that. Yeah. Well, I understand that you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less! The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. The trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency, I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something. Written in English. What could it be? Could be the professor's journal. He suspected her of wanting to kill him. Something like that. Oh. She researches poisons. Tell me that. Freaking tell me that. It's Giselle Brett's research. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curar and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curar. What's that? I've never heard that word before. Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Okay, it's been entered into the court record. Goodbye then and good luck. Okay, I'll read it now. Giselle's report. A report detailing an unknown poison that Unknown is the key, because they tested for everything known. That Miss Brett has been researching during her time. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry: The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Practical applications. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have an application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. So this could explain why he didn't scream out in pain. A poison and a paralytic. Okay, so then the anesthesia from the dentist. I was in the right realm of thinking, but it wasn't that. It was this. But why was the steak in front of him then? Was he supposed to eat it? Because it was his right hand. Right? Alright, this is the dude's right hand. And he's facing away. That's... all of this is still effed. Goodbye then, and good luck. And why did she take the glass? Because she only poisoned the glass. Yeah. You have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now, one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency? If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Okay.
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand that you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you said? I've never even heard of it. You wouldn't have done. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before, for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist. That's right, Hosonaga, so you couldn't have tested for it. Correct, which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. Order, order, order! Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribes people of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists to lace their arrows. The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Cosma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration. In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. Brutal. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. And you're suggesting that this bottle, counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison.
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. Ahem, if I may. All these facts. You think you're so clever?
Shut up!
It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest, hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. It is. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency? Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? She's gonna freaking drink it. She's gonna drink it! It's because the glass was poisoned, not the bottle. Well, yes. I don't see, why not? Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry? To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers. Wait, what are you doing? There's your test. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Dude. What a game. What if she just freaking died? Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no curare. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Okay, what about the glass? Your glass. You want to drink out of that? Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. I mean, it could be a lot of things. The poison, loses efficacy after 24 hours. From the moment of preparation. Something like that. I don't know. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Yeah, perhaps, Raptor. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains no poison. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivety really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of a good staining until it's as dark as your uniform in the ways of the world. Oh, is that what this color is supposed to represent? What? The F? That was a guileless ending to a promising line of inquiry, Counsel, for which you will be penalized. What the fuck? This whole trial is poisoned. There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? There can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water... What the fuck? I mean, am I supposed to bring up the court record? Contains poison. The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection!
Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think. I believe that complication can be explained. How exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. This better be convincing because I'm pretty upset at that last choice. Has to be. Hey, my thought is that it's... the glass was poisoned. But if not... the route of entry. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. So it's that it wouldn't... ingesting it has no effect? It's probably this, the route of entry. I don't know where we're going with this. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed? It's this.
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation. Dude, bro, wait. Give me one moment. No? After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. It would direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. What section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? The page title? The special characteristics, route of entry. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Be gracious, counsel. No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to the conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see. That makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little... Here it goes, Raptor. What? Rapscallion! That thing's alive! Okay, we don't see her eyes yet, but that was funny. Great. Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out You're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. Okay, then why the fuck did you just drink it in front of everyone like that? It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Succus? Succus? Judicature? You have to say all these? Oh, yes. Well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Yeah. And I don't think the burn is a point of entry, right? Did he have other wounds? That's right. Good gracious. It's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Order in court. Order! Yeah, he did have a medical procedure right before, a dentist, like a tooth extraction. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison... Oh, he has a wound in his mouth! That's why! Oh my god! He had a wound in his mouth! Got him! Wow! Objection, bro! If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest... Yes, this curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. This is it. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. His superpowers are about to awaken. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Dude! This is pretty cool.
Objection!
There it is! That's... I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes! Okay. That was actually cool, because I was wondering this whole time, like, oh, maybe Ryunosuke doesn't say objection. He just says yes. But for them, so this is like the beginnings, you know? This is like prequel, so having an origin story for him having the compulsion to say objection in that way is pretty cool. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. Yeah, seriously, Krantz. Can I call you Krantz? Is that okay? So good. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. Thank you. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested, why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? A record of dental work. I'm not even gonna examine it again.
Take that!
Take that, dude! We're here! Yes, why is this so gratifying to hear him say that? As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, There was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, my dudes. And the slam, too. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Here we go. Break down. Show me your eyes. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are also... Oh, how do I pronounce that? Puerile. Childishly. Silly and trivial. Okay. Boyish, okay. Puerile. What? What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No, wait, she's gonna destroy evidence right in the courtroom right now? Oh, gotcha right there. I mean, it could just slip. Incredible. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No. What is it? What just happened? It's the Englishwoman. She just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court. What a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. We still have the glass. Tell me we still have the glass. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle, or not. You. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course. Of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady. That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? Sorry, we're at like a climax right now. I think we're about to point out the fact that the burn was on his right wrist, so they turned his body around after. But I need to use the restroom again. I will be back in just a few minutes. Thank you so much.
We are back. All right. At the climax of this trial, I hope we finally get to point out that the burn mark was on his right wrist, because I really think that's relevant. That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So, of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
There it is, such confidence. No, you killed the victim that day, using curare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. I mean, are we going to explain why the stake was in front of him? Delivered in cold blood by the accused Ryunosuke Naruhodo. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing that you could really depend upon. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. It's the right hand, huh? Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head, could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's a clue. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Why would they show us that blood right there? Huh? It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. Is there somewhere the clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... What? What the fuck is this? I mean, I'm gonna press it. I don't like this, but...
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes, what is it? Oh, he's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection! Shut up!
Whoa. Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. Oh, but it said the bullet didn't... The bullet didn't go through. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Right? Because we all know that the bullet didn't go through, right? Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Giselle Brett. I beg your pardon?
Attention!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all. And I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. He did what? You did what? I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. He took the coin, too? He's very normal about his job, I guess. I mean, a detail-oriented job. And I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it, now! Inspector. The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector. The blood! Man, show the court. It's not there. The hydrate. Thank you, Samantha. And the posture check. Of course, examine the plate at your leisure. It's not there. No. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible. I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Whoa. I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. For the 10th time. Let's hope so. Let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. This sorry-looking steak even reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. plate of steak has been entered in the court record. We're going to examine it immediately. Tell me it's been tampered with. Tell me the bite marks are different. I mean, it's a little different. I mean, is it going to be that detailed? The bites are different? Yeah. It's different. This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? Yes. That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? There's another clue. This is the wrong steak. It has to. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Attention!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. The new clue? What's the new clue? The steak itself. What the F? Wait, could I have examined that from the court record? What does this have to do with anything? This is that missing coin. What the fuck is going on, dude? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. No. I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Oh, it's the wrong steak? It's that antique guy's steak? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion in bullion. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat, and it's from the Hoei era too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well, look. What? Are you thinking of eating it? No. But the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. You might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath this steak. There's only one logical explanation. What is the logical explanation? Dude, what the f... This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beefsteak. Seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is the symbol of Le Carnival, is it? The new clue. What is the new clue? What am I looking at here? Oh, but I'm supposed to press present.
Got it!
Got it. Good gracious. That's... Koban? What on earth? Ahoy Arrow one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak. This is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day of the question. On the day in question, isn't it? Is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? Why? Did she steal it from the guy? What is going on?
Shut up!
Okay. What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen it. I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
Attention!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Attention!
You're not a lawyer. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is... Miss Kiryo Korekuta.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasute, Kiryo Korekuta-san. Kiryu, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his koban coin when it happened, at exactly the moment the gun was fired. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure? Indeed, the Hoei era koban, my prized coin. Then this Hoei era koban, do you mean to tell me?
Attention!
No, please. Why would Korekuta-san's koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
Which is why I'm asking you to bring Korekuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. Can't believe we've come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. The professor. Dude, everyone's here. What's this all about? What have I been called up to? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police, we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, myself, I became a ruined man in a trice. A worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Ryunosuke shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Korikuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Ryunosuke memory serves, have you ever... Whoa! Yes, that's it. The one, the very exact one that it is. The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be. Oh, did I miss it? I mean, he dropped the knife. As I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where? Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my Hoei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing. Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Here we go. Some fraud. Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. The smuggling of Japanese antiques and cultural relics. Here we go. Le Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of a waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this koban incident is the work of the same thief. So, unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korikuta-san's koban is all too clear. What? What? Wow, who could it be? It's not... Is it Giselle Brett? She's just a thief? Or it was the victim, the professors, and he just happened to get killed at the same time? What the hell? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us. Who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korikuta-san's koban and hid it under the steak? I mean, they want us to think her, right? Because it was her steak. Assuming it was her steak. But why wasn't the blood splatter there? If not her, then I'm gonna say it's the victim.
Take that!
Music didn't go out. We got it wrong. You blame the swan? Ooh. Yeah, seems like a likely candidate for a koban thief. No, come on, Ryunosuke. Huh? You shocked me, Kazuma. Not as much as you shocked me. No one could have approached the table unnoticed. Even if you're a crazy fool, you couldn't have missed that. I'm not sure you should be calling Kuta-san a crazy fool, Kazuma. It's you I was calling the crazy fool. Ah, maybe I'm on the wrong track here. Alright, then it was the sergeant then. What the fuck? I dare you, game, to make this guy the thief. What did he just say, though? No one could have approached the table unnoticed. Even if you're a crazy fool, you could have missed that. Then it was him, Iesanosa.
Take that!
Music went out, okay. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Iesanosa. What? How? How dare you? You monster. Monster? I stole that koban, did I? I'm the master thief of Le Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido was the mastermind behind all this. Please start speaking, Ido. Huh? You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby. It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. He stole that baby too. It's not even his own baby. What the hell? The baby just killed him. Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesanosa preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his koban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak. I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Ido too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett? Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. Yeah, what the hell's going on? May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The theft of the koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well... Ugh. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. Pure madness. Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day. Objection. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. What? As for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. There's marks on the knife, but those look like bite marks. I'm confused. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there is something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Oh, it's the hiding a coin part. What? Contradiction? And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. What is the contradiction there? Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, Where is the evidence to prove it? What? Wait, just the fact that it's her steak, right?
Take that!
The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Oh, she swapped it because the one with blood on it is elsewhere. Now you're just splitting hairs. Okay, so the bite marks being different are important. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Notice what? Exactly, Counsel. Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could ever contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. And take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Plus, why is the coin there, dude? It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Attention!
But what is your actual point? This isn't her steak. Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was... Whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave every... I've heard enough, your irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady... What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly the witness knows what this means. Surely she's realized the catastrophic implication these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes. Now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten without cutlery. Eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of that phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. What? Hasn't been. What? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already. You say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. It's the sergeant's teeth, right? And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Every? Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
Take that!
Counsel, I'm disappointed. Shit. As this is likely your last chance, I would have expected you to be taking it more seriously. What the We're running out here. Now we've come this far, there's nothing more to say. There's one person in particular who's provided us with various pieces of evidence already. You think I noticed before? Plenty of clues. Shit, what am I not getting? Very well, I have a feeling, okay. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? If it's actually like another piece of evidence, then it's Hosonaga. Right? It's either Hosonaga or it's Giselle Brett. Yeah, give me the other steak.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Kurikuta's son's coin. He told us that he slipped it under the steak. Okay, so then, yes. I'm just trying to think ahead here. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Tension? Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. Hey, Blossom, what's up? In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
Yeah. But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest the thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. You did switch the plates? Fucking guy. Well, after it happened, it is good. Blossom. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. This fucking guy. With my military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you, so yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable. What a piece of shit. However, fear not, prosecutor-san. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. So that to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ah. That's correct. Bring out the steak. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. Here it is. There it is, the blood. Sorry for keeping you. Here is the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. I will. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look.
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right, Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! It's you? Is it time, Raptor? Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no! What is happening? She's gone. She just bounced out of here. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. Oh, that's why the steak was in front of him. That's right, okay. We forgot from the first part. Because she needed to tamper with the evidence to remove all existence. All evidence of her existence. Okay. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. And leave immediately. However... Wait, did we ever touch on why he was burning? He got that burn? Or am I just left with my theories? And leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. What? There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my skirt, of course. Under your skirt? I was right. There were two guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Place where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then just as you bent down to pick it up, That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency? Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. What the F is going on? And she just faded out of existence. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. The English goodbye. I presume the prosecution is in agreement? This can't be. Taketsuchi Aochi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You better start getting used to tough opposition. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Yes? This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with age, Counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Why? What the hell is going on? 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Aochi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Wow. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future for law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. Oh, does he have a secret mission? I understand. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Ah, never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo? Oh, yes? In you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Wait, is Ryunosuke at that university? Is it a law university? Was he even training to be a lawyer at all? I don't know, right? It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Screenshot. This court is now adjourned. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the defense. Speaking of Mikotoba, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go and cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Okay. You have my interest now. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. Ooh. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret arrangements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Britt can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor, you're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest Le Carnival? As a head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To Le Carnival. Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, Le Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go too and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh, not go too, just go. Oh yes, thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all, because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, even then. Well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. Sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. Oh, we're gonna have like a little black and white. We never had that conversation because Kazuma didn't make it to Le Carnival. The end. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain. Don't forget. And we're gonna be the one that goes to Great Britain instead. Oh my goodness. Ah, yes, that too. We'll never know what that favor is. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But it wouldn't be the last trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. And he never will. God. Little did I realize that he never would. Just how much it would change my life. Oh. There it is. Save my current progress? Yes. We did it. And I think if we leave this scene, we'll probably start the next thing. So, that's it. That's it for the first case. Really incredible. A lot of twists and turns. Pacing was probably hindered by the fact that it was, a tutorial case. They had to teach me absolutely every feature, which, is expected. Ended up making the case longer than I think it needed to be. But the characters are great. A lot of the charm of what I remember about Phoenix Wright was there. And the build-up to him saying objection for the first time was really cool. So, yeah. Looking forward to more. Thank you guys for watching. I posted this week's schedule on the Discord already. We don't have another stream for another week. We have a busy week, so the next stream is on Sunday. It'll probably be more of this, but please check the Discord for the schedule. Is there anything else? Thank you guys for hanging out and watching on this Sunday afternoon and evening now. Great game. Looking forward to more of it. Here's some links in chat for you. Our Instagram and invite link to our Discord server, youtube.com/Reyony. It's where we upload higher quality recordings of our streams, so check it out. To help with that, the games played command in chat links you to a Google spreadsheet that lists everything that we've streamed. Check it out because it also conveniently links to the VOD playlist for each of those playthroughs, so check it out. Oh yeah, we had daylight savings time started in our time zone this morning. So streams, depending where you are, may start at a different time now. So just check the schedule. Yeah, a lot. I do feel a lot of little drops to lead us into the overarching narrative of this game. I've never finished. Well, I did finish the DS Ace Attorney, but I'm looking forward to this. So thank you guys for hanging out. I'll see you again in a week. Have a great week. I'll be on the Discord, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Good night.